Honorable Sharif.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, I had a word with the chair, and she's in agreement with me that these responses are truly not satisfactory at all. Mr. Speaker, we're dealing with human lives. Mr. Speaker, it's a known fact that in this country, over the last 3 months, there have been 483 suicide cases that have been reported. 483 suicide cases. More people are literally losing their livelihood from the effects of these lockdowns and these operations that the government has been able to put into place than even COVID itself. 483 people, Mr. Speaker, and not even a single one of us here will deny that right now joblessness is at its highest in this country. None of us will deny here that every single day they receive phone calls from their constituents that people are being sent home because of lack of school fees. No one here is going to deny, Mr. Speaker, that crime has increased to the extent that people are bold enough to actually attack police officers and stations. No one here is going to deny, Mr. Speaker, divorce rate as well is amongst the highest. We are breaking families. Mr. Speaker, look at the responses that the government has been able to give. It's so wanting. One, they're saying in their first response, and I want to read what has actually been read out. Verbatim, following the development of protocols for the resumption of air and rail transport in July, this mode of transport resumed the operations with their full carrying capacity in August 2020 and October 2020 respectively. And question is, why can these same protocols be used on the buses as well? An institution that is currently hiring close to 6,000 people directly, and if we look at the indirect employment that people are actually losing out, it's a multiple effect, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you go on even further. Response number 3, actually I want to still go on. In order to achieve full implementation of the protocols, the public transport operators are required to collaborate with NTSA. They have collaborated with the NTSA. The NTSA is aware that the bus owners have been able to do this. No one can tell me right now that no bus owner can be able to put a thermogun for people to be able to measure the temperature of a passenger. No one can be able to tell me, Mr. Speaker, that we cannot have sanitizers in buses. No one can be able to tell me, Mr. Speaker, equally, that we cannot have direct stop from one point to the other, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, it's a bit scary as well. They are aware that these protocols are in place. They've even said it, that the Federation of Public Transport, together with the Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Interior, and other state departments, including KRA, NTSA, and Safety Authority, reviewed these existing protocols from March 2021. March, Mr. Speaker. March, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months down the line. And nothing has been done. And yet here we are getting saddened by the state at which this country is moving. And if people are not going to be able to take action, Mr. Speaker, we are going to lose out on this country. Every single Kenyan is looking at every one of you who is here to be able to come up with solutions. And what is happening? Instead of government coming up with solutions, Mr. Speaker, the same government that is meant to enhance the livelihood of people, the same government is continuously stamping its foot down on the lives of Kenyans. And if we don't say this, this will be the highest level of betrayal on the people who voted for us, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the chair has talked about that within a period of 2 weeks, that something is going to be able to be done. I'm expecting, Mr. Speaker, I was truly expecting that the Ministry of Health, in its principles of guiding matters to do with, the protocols and the guidelines, as envisaged in the constitution of this country, as are stated in the laws of this country, Mr. Speaker, we're expecting them to come and tell us something like, we're talking to the bus owners and their airlines, and as Mr. Speaker, here we are, and every single day, we simply have to say that government has requested for 2 weeks, government has requested for an extra 3 weeks, and every hour that passes, Mr. Speaker, and we don't provide solutions, every hour, forget about the weeks that we're talking about, every hour that we don't provide solutions, we're killing our own.